What is going on, y'all? It is FST. Waiting for folks to get in here because I got a lot to say. Oh boy, I got a lot to say, man. If you guys can hear me, let me know in the chat right now. We have to talk. Let me tweet out the link. Yo, 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 what's good? What's good? You guys can hear me in the chat. Let me know. We got to talk. We got to talk. We got to talk. I'm just going to tweet out the link real quick. All right, I see you guys. Thank you guys in the chat. Kavan, Diego, Danielle, John, Jeremy. Let me just tweet out the link so we get folks in here, man, because we have some big things to talk about, okay? All right, cool. You guys can hear me loud and clear. Okay, yeah. So as you can tell by the title, we have to talk about the NFL season. If you guys are not on Twitter, the NFL is actually trending. If you guys could tell, oops. Right there, if you see, the NFL is trending because the NFL season is literally just about a month away, and we don't know. We don't know what's going on right now. So I just wanted to come on and talk about it because I got a lot to say. So thank you guys. If you guys can hear me, cool. If you want to ask questions, submit a super chat. Want your question answered right away. Okay, so let me just do one thing real quick here before I get started. Okay, yeah. So I already see questions coming in. No preseason. What's going on? Thanks for what you do. I appreciate that, John. Obviously, I do it for you guys, man. And so okay. So let's get started here. And as people come in, we can discuss more and more. So why I wanted to do this impromptu live stream is because I am so frustrated with the NFL. So frustrated, folks, because if you're on Twitter right now, every major player is tweeting about how the NFL still has not given them any safety protocols or precautions for the NFL season, folks. And training camp literally starts in a few days, okay? Rookies have to report in a few days, okay? So training camp is right around the corner, and the NFL still does not have all of these safety protocols in place for players to feel safe. This blows my mind because the NFL had more time than any league to get this and put a plan together, and they didn't. They just thought the virus would go away, COVID would go away, and they wouldn't have to worry about anything, folks. Remember, this happened, in March, right? When we had the whole pandemic happening. Or, I mean, it's still going on, but when we had the pandemic start in March, okay, and that's when the country shut down or places shut down, and the NFL season had just ended in February, and we knew the NFL season doesn't start till September, so they had March, April, May, June, July, August, 5-6 months to prepare and get everything in line to make sure football happens in September, and they didn't do squat. They didn't do squat. And here's my thing. I still believe the NFL season is happening. 99%, I said that, okay? Because there's too much money on the line. There's too much at stake here. But I am really, really now starting to feel like there's a possibility the season gets pushed back. That's what scares me. The season could get pushed back. They could start later because they don't have the safety protocols in place. Okay, that's the only thing that pisses me off is that the NFL had all this time and they just did not use it. Okay, they did not use it. So to me, that's what's frustrating, honestly, more than anything, is because we all want football. We all do. And the NFL had that opportunity to make it happen and they didn't. Take a look at the other leagues, man. Like the NBA, I've always said this. The NBA literally had the least amount of time, it felt like, and they put together such a comprehensive plan with all of the safety guidelines and protocols to make sure that the players feel safe, the staff, the coaches. And here's the thing people keep saying, right? that, oh, this virus has a very high chance of, a very low death rate, I should say, and a very, very high chance of recovery, which it does. I agree. And the players aren't actually at high risk if you look at the data. But the problem is, it's not just about the players. It's about the older coaches. It's about the players' families. It's actually even about some players who are at high risk. We don't know all of the health issues that every player has, folks. So the NFL could not get away with that. They couldn't get away with that. They need to come up with a plan, because if you don't make players feel safe, they're not going to play football. Patrick Mahomes has tweeted this. Russell Wilson has tweeted this. When you have your biggest stars tweet this, that's an issue. So Roger Goodell and the NFL, I mean, they better get something done ASAP with the NFL and the NFLPA, because I'm telling you right now, I feel like the season is in jeopardy of getting pushed back. It's not getting canceled. We all know that, but it's going to get pushed back, and that is what pisses me off so much. And as far as preseason, I don't see preseason happening. Maybe one game, maybe, but even that, I'm doubtful. So if I had to say, I'd probably say preseason's not happening. Okay, so right now, when is the season supposed to start? September, right? So it is July 19th. Okay, they basically have 2 more months now, from now until the season starts, to get everything together. But they really don't have the full 2 months. They have really a couple weeks, because, again, training camp is starting next week. And so for the NFL, they need to come up with the protocols for training camp. So like I said, it's so frustrating to me, folks. That's why I come on and just talk to you guys about this. I want to do Q&A as well. I see you guys submitting questions as well, and I will get to those. But I'm just telling you right now, this is so frustrating, because the NFL had an incredible chance, and they blew it. Okay? Yeah, will there be fans allowed in the stadiums? We literally haven't heard anything, because I'm telling you, folks, the NFL thought this virus, COVID, would just go away by the time the season started, and they wouldn't have to change anything. They didn't think they would have to change anything about fans or any protocols, nothing. They really thought that. And here's the thing, this happened in March. So they thought they had all this time before the season, and everything would be right. And it's so funny that the NBA got laughed at, because when they said that the season was starting in July and they planned that in like April, people were like, oh, July's so far away. Why are you putting a bubble in Orlando in July when, COVID's not going to even last that long? And now look, we're in July, and, obviously we've seen the cases go up in the South, and the cases were up early on in the North. And so we've seen that COVID is still very much rampant across the entire country. And now the NBA is perfectly secluded in their bubble, and their season's happening. Oh, it's a go. It's happening July 30th. So that is so crazy and frustrating to me that the NFL just literally thought that this would just go away. So, like I said, folks, I'm just frustrated right now, because I want my football back. I really do. But it's so frustrating. So submit your questions, guys. Super chat if you want me to answer right away. And, we can talk. We'll talk Bears. We'll talk NFL, period. But, yeah, let me know what your questions are, guys. As far as fans in stadiums, I'm going to say no. I don't think there'll be any fans in stadiums. I just don't see any possibility of that happening in a safe manner. And so for me, I'm going to say no for fans in stadiums. And to be honest, folks, I would have preferred the NFL do the bubble like what the NBA did. The only problem is, where in the country are they going to find a place where there's going to be multiple football fields in the same area? And, you've got the hotels and player accommodations and such. Orlando Disney World was the perfect spot for the NBA, but I don't know. Do you guys have a spot that the NFL could have that bubble in, or what, And it's so crazy. Baseball starting soon, and they're not doing a bubble. I think they're playing at their home arenas, home stadiums, if I'm not mistaken. So I don't know how that's happening either. It's crazy if they're testing players every day or not. They need to be testing players every day, by the way. So what do you think would happen after the first preseason game that players started testing positive? Yeah, listen, it's literally going to be chaos. The NBA season shut down because one player, Rudy Gobert, tested positive for COVID. Okay, think about what happens in the NFL. Okay, what has the NFL done so far? Oh, they've banned post-game jersey exchanges. So I can literally tackle you. I can put my sweat on you. I can spit, but I can't exchange jerseys with you after the game. Come on now. Like, really, it's crazy. So, again, no fans, Philip, in stadium. That's your question. COVID could last till 2022. It's possible. I'm not an expert. I'm not a doctor. I'm not an epidemiologist, so I'm not going to make those claims. But I will say this. With the way the vaccines are trending and the trials that they're in, if I had to make a guess, I'd probably say sometime next year that hopefully we'll have a vaccine and COVID, hopefully, crossing my fingers, will be over. But again, I'm not going to make those claims out because I'm not a doctor. There's so much delay with the protocol. It is. It really is. I don't know. Like, I don't know how the NFL, a $1 billion league, can not get this together, like with so much money on the line. What's good, Faiz? All will be good. Relax. If we don't have football, then we don't have football. We use sports as a microcosm to escape life. We have to learn patience at the same time. Hey, Levante, man, look, I totally agree with you. Look, we've gone 4 months, 5 months without sports. I have gone 5 months without sports, right? March, April, May, June, July. Okay? So we can survive without sports, but the problem here is that the frustration is stemming from the fact that there was a lack of preparation. That's my only point here. If the NFL prepared, let's say this, okay? Let's say the NFL prepared and they came up with the testing protocols, the tracing in place. They made the player safety for the NFL players, and they did everything right. And let's say the season happened and there was still an outbreak and they had to shut the season down, right? God forbid that happened. I would not be mad. I really wouldn't, because you know what? I said, look, they tried, they did all they could, and it didn't work out. That's life sometimes. But in this instance, if the season gets delayed or God forbid doesn't happen, you got no one to blame. You got no one to blame but yourself, because me. Sorry, guys, I'm ranting, but I feel like this needs to be said because damn near frustrating. Again, look at all the players. 80 plus players tweeted about this. If you guys are not on Twitter, go ahead and check it out on Twitter. Over 80 plus players have tweeted about this. Hashtag we want to play has been trending. I've mentioned Patrick Mahomes, Russell Wilson have talked about this. So to me, like I said, it's frustrating. But with that being said, let's take some questions, guys. Again, if you guys want me to answer your question, go ahead and submit a super chat to have her answered right away. Also, a couple of quick announcements. I am going to be doing a training camp preview for the Bears. I was going to do that next week, and I'm still planning on doing it. Rookies are supposed to report on the 21st, so in 2 days, rookies are supposed to report, and then you'll have, I think, 3 days after that and a couple days after that, all the rest of the players. So training camp's next week, guys. It's literally next week, so look forward to that for a training camp. And I'm also going to be restarting the FSD Fantasy Football League, so get ready for that. Only 20 spots, really 19, because I'm going to be in it. So if you guys want to get in that league, it's going to be first come, first serve. And also make sure to grab my course if you haven't already. Thanks for your feedback. So disappointing me. Yeah, Philip, no, I appreciate that, man. Listen, it has to be said. It really has to be said because it is unacceptable. Do you think Washington will have a new name before the season? Yeah, I do. I absolutely do. I think the Redskins will I just called them the Redskins, didn't I? I shouldn't say that. I think Washington will have a name before the season. What the name is, I don't know. I heard about Oakley making protective helmet frames. Could this make a difference? I'm not sure about that. I think I've seen what you're talking about. To me, this isn't much more about the gear as it is about just the everyday protocols. Like, are players getting tested every day? Will fans be in the stadiums? Like, things like that I'm more concerned with than, they have a shield on the mask or they have like this, different uniform. So those things don't matter as much, okay? For me, it's just about making the player feel safe. And again, people are saying to me, I've had tweets saying, Faiz, this virus, again, has a low death rate, very high recovery rate. I get that, but I'm telling you folks, you got to think about more things than just the players. Yes, the players are actually the least risk because they are, supremely gifted athletes. but we have to take in mind their families, right? Russell Wilson tweets about his pregnant wife. Is she going to be okay? We got their parents, right? We've got the older coaches in the league. Look how old Pete Carroll is, right? We've got so many other things than just the players to worry about. Your thought about the Madden ratings? I have a video coming out for that, so you will get my full thoughts on all those. I'm going to drop that video tomorrow or Tuesday. When will you start open your fantasy league? Well, if the season doesn't get delayed, it usually starts around mid to end of August. So on a normal time frame, the preseason happens, and I wait till pretty much the third preseason game because there's too many injuries that happen in preseason, and I hate having my draft before that. But I'll open the league up before then, and then I usually start the draft after the preseason. So as far as when I will open the league, okay? So I answered that one. It's funny that the NFL banned jersey swaps. Yeah, it's so funny, right? Literally, that's the one protocol they came out with. I can't even take this seriously. The NFL had all this time, and the protocol they came out with is, we're going to ban jersey swaps after the game. James Holman with a super chat. Appreciate that, James. Thank you so much. In the NFC North collab you hosted, why did you side with Green Bay so much? Need to have faith. Look, James, the only reason you're saying that is because I picked the Packers to win the division. I'm not siding with Green Bay. I have to be objective in my analysis. I said the Bears have the best defense. I said Allen Robinson is the best receiver in the NFC North, really, you can after Devontae Adams. So, I will support my Bears all day, but I have to be objective. If someone asks me tomorrow who's better, the Bears or the Chiefs, I can't just say the Bears. The Chiefs are better. There's defending Super Bowl champions. So there has to be some objectivity here, or else you guys wouldn't respect my analysis. You guys wouldn't follow me if I was just saying Bears everything and, not being objective and just being biased. So I try not to be biased. I hate when people are biased. That's why I said that. But I don't think I was siding with Green Bay too much. It was just that I picked the Packers to win the division, and that by one game, 11-5, 10-6. I still have the Bears making the playoffs. So just saying. Let's see here. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. More super chats if you guys want. Please, I will answer questions right away. What are your thoughts on the lack of additions to the O-line besides money? Why haven't we gone after Warford? That was the reason, money. I didn't like the fact that the Bears didn't add more talent to the offensive line. They're depending on the scheme of the new coaching staff in Juan Castillo. And, cross my fingers it works out. But, yeah, I'm disappointed. I am. Roger Goodell needs to step up. Yes, the heck he does. And I met Roger Goodell, by the way. Seems like a nice guy, but he needs to step it up. Do you think Khalil Mack has a good chance to win Defensive Player of the Year? Absolutely. I think Khalil Mack, I have him getting 12, 13 sacks this year. I think he has a great shot. The NFL should be ready about COVID. Had this helmet. Aaron is getting disrespectful in the NFL. Will FTFN compete with Chat Sports? Yeah, FTFN. So I've said that about, that I'm collaborating with those guys. The website is live, by the way. You guys can go check it out. So basically, they're going to be doing Twitch streams. I don't know if they'll compete with ChatSport. We're just trying to do our own thing here. There's a lot of these YouTube influencers that I wanted to partner with. They reached out to me for the opportunity. So it's actually crazy because now with no fans in stadiums, it's going to be like a virtual tailgating, if you will, where there's going to be pregame, postgame shows that we're going to go live with. So I'm going to be doing that. They'll ask me to host a couple of shows whenever the Bears play. So I'm the Bears ambassador. There's 31 other ambassadors for all 31 other teams. I'm the Bears guy, so anything with Bears, I will be representing for FTFN. So I'm not sure if they're competing with ChatSport. We're just kind of doing our own thing. Have you heard of the Windy City Productions? Would you ever collaborate with them? Guys, you asked me the separate client. Yeah, I do know him, and I've reached out to him. Whenever our schedules work out, we'll collab for sure. He's a great guy. He's the homie. Roger Goodell needs to look at Adam Silver and see what he did. Adam Silver is one of the best commissioners. Yes. Adam Silver. I'm telling you, the NBA got laughed at. They got laughed at when they came out with the bubble plan because people said, you are literally putting a bubble in July when they came out with the plan in March or April. And they were like, oh, the virus won't be as rampant by then. It'll be the middle of the summer. The NBA season starting so long from now. And now look. So Adam Silver, man, I got to give him credit. He's the best commissioner in sports. And the NBA is the best run league in the U.S. It really is, folks. Levante with the super chat. RELAX, RELAX, RELAX 5. Listen, Levante, I'm just frustrated, man. That's it. Look, I know the NFL season's happening. I know it is. But you got to understand the frustration because they could have prevented this. That's all it is. Like, the only reason I'm ranting right now is because I'm frustrated. That's it. I just want my football back like you guys, okay? That's it. Look, Levante, you're probably right. The NFL season is happening. But do you want to wait longer? What if they delay it till December, right? Somebody asked me in the chat. I forgot who it was. They said, what if the NFL season gets delayed? How long will it get delayed to? Well, I believe if it gets delayed, it'll be at least a month longer. So if they delay it, minimum till October, potentially longer, November maybe. So to me, that's my concern here. I am still hopeful the NFL season's happening, Levante. It's just that I'm telling you, man, it's just frustrating. So I got it. You hit me with the Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. I got you. But listen, that's all I'm saying. Super chat, guys, for me to answer your question right away. So let's see where we were. So I was talking about the NBA, right? I'm telling you, Adam Silver got laughed at, and their bubble plan was amazing. The thing with the bubble for the NFL is there a place, you guys tell me, is there a place in the U.S. where there's multiple football stadiums in one area? Like, how are they going to do that? Because in Orlando, what the NBA is doing is they built the courts within the hotels, right? So you kind of need to do that for the NFL because if you want to have, like Sunday football, you're going to have like 7 teams playing at the same time. Well, you need 7 football stadiums for that. So I think the location is the biggest issue. You need hotel rooms for the players. You need all that. So that's the biggest thing. Hey, Rob is getting disrespected. Yeah, there's a lot of talk about the contract extension. I'm going to come out with the video on that. Will season start this year? It'll happen. I don't know when it'll start on time. I don't even like chat sports. Yeah, I'm not a big – I don't really watch chat sports as much. Do you think Robert Quinn will live up to his contract? I do think so. I think Robert Quinn should have a good tenure, hopefully, with the Bears. There's rumor about a second bubble. Are you talking about the NBA? Because, yes, there is going to be a second bubble with the NBA in Chicago, by the way, for the 8 teams that did not go to the Orlando bubble. And, by the way, I don't know if they're going to televise that. I don't think so. It's probably just for, like, practice and stuff. But, yes, there is going to be a second bubble. That's not even a rumor. It's confirmed now. Besides Mostert, who I wouldn't want to trade for, is there a free agent running back we should go after? Good question. I wouldn't mind Devontae Freeman. I wouldn't mind Lamar Miller. I have to go and check who else is out there for the free agent running backs. But, yeah, a guy on a 1-year deal, veteran, versatile, cheap. That's pretty much it. A guy who can just come in and spell David Montgomery for a little bit. Is baseball today? I don't know what you mean by that. Let's see here. Washington and California have multiple stadiums. Could work there as a bubble. Washington and California, interesting. Yeah, Cali would probably be a good spot. Or they could literally go ahead and create the football fields because you don't need to have the seats, right? There's no fans. There's not going to be fans. And so maybe you just have the football fields and like multiple football fields in like a big area. So, and again, they can get creative with it, right? I'm actually getting messages on my phone about like updates and stuff. Let's see here. You guys can keep submitting questions, by the way. I'm going to answer questions for a little bit longer here in Super Chat if you want me to answer right away. Let's see here. If you told the NFL, hey, there's going to be a pandemic, when should it start? The answer would be March. Yeah, see, so I followed this page. I don't know if you guys follow this page on Twitter, by the way. Hold on. Oh, geez. Oh, there we go. It's called NFL Update, My Sports Update. So this is so funny. Let me read you this tweet. If you told the NFL, hey, there's going to be a pandemic, when should it start? The NFL's answer would be what? March, after the Super Bowl. Off-season can be done virtually, and that's what happened. And here we are in July, mid-July, by the way, and we have no answers as to how a season will happen. That's it. That's literally my point right there. That is exactly what I'm saying. The NFL literally got the perfect timing. If there was ever a timing for a pandemic, it was March happening right after the Super Bowl, and they botched. Oh, there is baseball today? Cubs and White Sox? Okay, so I have not followed baseball as much. I know this. They are playing in their home stadiums, okay, with no fans, correct? But how is testing happening? Are they testing players every day? There is no bubble, obviously, but are they doing testing every day? Like players don't have to quarantine, nothing like that? If you know, let me know in the chat. Who will get more receiving yards, Cohen or Graham? Good question. I will say Tariq Cohen. Yeah, I think Tariq Cohen, again, if you guys know, I'm not a fan of Jimmy Graham at this point in his career at his age, so I'm going to lean towards Tariq Cohen. Preseason baseball still Cubs. Okay, it's preseason, so they are doing preseason. There's testing every day. Okay, so I'm going to have to read up on the protocols that baseball is using for their season restart because they're not doing a bubble, and I'm really curious how it's happening because I know I saw a report that they tested all the baseball players and a very small percentage came out positive, which is good, but still. How do you feel about Jalen Johnson? Potential lots of hype minus injuries. I love Jalen Johnson. I think he's going to start opposite of Kyle Fuller. He's got the best shot to do so. And in my training camp video, I'm going to have a preview of all these questions that we're talking about. Regular season starts Thursday or Friday. We're talking about baseball, right? Okay. So, yeah, I have to see how baseball is doing their season because I'm very interested. So, you guys said that they're doing testing every day, which is good, but they're not quarantining. So, what happens if a player tests positive? Like, does he have to quarantine? Do you guys know that? Like, if a player tests positive, does the rest of the team have to quarantine, or is that not going to happen because they test players every day? So, there's a bunch of questions here. But I have to get to that. Let me see if I missed any questions up above here. Bears going to Super Bowl this year. I got money on it. Well, listen, let's make sure the season starts first, and then we can talk about that. But yes, would love that, obviously. We get a Roquan video or not? Yeah, I'm slacking a little bit on the Bears player previews, so I did it for a lot of the Bears players. I still have a couple more to hit. Roquan Smith is one of them. So, Jeremy, don't worry. It is going to come. My friend, it is Robinson deal will happen. I promise you. Yes, I agree. Robinson deal will happen. When does the NHL COVID Cup start? I forgot. Yeah, and NHL too. All these sports are starting, but again, I have not seen how they're doing it. Other sports are kind of just winging it, and so to me, again, I'm gonna look at it right now and see how these other sports are doing it. But guys, listen. I'm telling you right now, the NFL disappointed, man. Could their season really happen if the NFL has COVID-infected players through the season? So this is the main question. The NFL, I saw actually that they said they would do a 3-week IR for COVID players, which is crazy. 3 weeks is a long time, obviously. But again, that's what they said. So if you have an outbreak, what would happen, right? Well, I mean, you'd have to get replacement players. Again, these are all questions the NFL should have answered. I know in the NBA, if there is an outbreak, which there's literally a 0.1% chance of happening, they are going to quarantine the player. But here's the thing, because the player gets tested every day, there's virtually no chance of an outbreak. And I'm telling you, they have the protocols in place. So to answer your question, Gordon, I actually don't know. I wish the NFL would provide all these answers. All these players looking for it. Training camp starting next week. Frustrated. So that's why I really wanted to just come on here and talk to you guys about, man. So like I said, season's gonna happen, but it might get this, but couple things to look forward to. So keep in mind, guys, I will have a training camp live stream where I answer questions. I will also so training camp is next week. The fantasy football league is starting up again. You guys will want to get into that. And then the FTFN, that Twitch channel, follow that. It's in that description of that video I did with the other guys. But thank you so much. Really appreciate you guys. I'll be back on live stream real soon.